Hey guys, Anna here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. If you're new here, my name is Anna and I like to build houses in The Sims 4. Today we're in the world of Newcrest and we're building a single-storied family home. And this particular build was a build that I designed on grid paper. So the inspiration for this floor plan was I really liked this kind of cluster of bedrooms. So you walk into the entryway of this build and all of that left hand side is completely bedrooms and bathrooms, and then you go into a very spacious open living room. And this is very similar to a build that I built in March. I believe it was one of my base game only series, and it was the build that I raved about for the whole video, where it had that really lovely floor plan. That was a 3x1 where you essentially on the right side had the living, and then you had the left side just bedrooms and a bathroom. And I just really liked the layout of that build, and this is very reminiscent of that build. Obviously that was a base game only build. This is, using all sorts of packs. I did build and design this build back in March, so it is quite an older build, but I had so many builds stockpiled, so you're seeing it now. But yeah, you'll have to let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on this build. It is more of a modern, contemporary design. This particular build utilizes the refined living room kit quite a bit. It was probably one of the first builds I did using that particular piece of DLC, and yeah, definitely more of a modern take. So as mentioned, this is a 4x2 bedroom home. So you've got, let me think. So I believe there is a female teens room, a male's kids room, and potentially an infants room, and then obviously a master. And yeah, roofing was a bit challenging for this particular build, but in the end we got there, as I've mentioned before, with these 1-story builds that are, pretty decent in size, a 3 or a 4 bedroom home. Like it is a little bit harder to roof, but we got there in the end and I really like it. I love the front section with the kind of staggered, layered gabled roofs, and I love the texture. So we use a lot of we've used the spandrels from the base game update. They are my favorite. I've mentioned in a previous build how I like that you can really see them. They're quite thick. A lot of the spandrels are quite hidden in the game, I feel. And I've just gone around with some of the modern windows. We do utilize windows from that update as well. I'm just really enjoying it at the moment. It just really suits. And then a lot of course, the Home Chef Hustle kit pack, that stuff pack. And yeah, this is very much a build that it utilizes some new DLC for me, but it also utilizes just items that I like, some of my favorite items. This is in that kind of Newcrest save file that I've been building. I was talking about it quite a bit in our April videos, where Newcrest is just all full of houses for me because I've just built so much. But this is actually located, I think, next door to one of the larger base game only builds that we did back in March. If you are interested in seeing that series, it is available on the channel. There is a whole range of builds in various different sizes. That was so fun to do that. And yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what type of videos you would like to see. Are you wanting to see more family homes? Are you wanting to see more community lots? You want to see anything? Is there a particular pack you want me to utilize? Just whatever you would like to see. I am in the midst of working on my June content, which I believe will be a apartment series. So I'm very excited for that. Let me know in the comment section down below what type of apartments would you like to see. Some business, some multifunctional lots, some rental properties maybe, and yeah, like apartment buildings. I don't know, it's all exciting. So we are very much doing the landscaping. I love this build. I just think it's very well laid out, and I think that it's a good size lot. I think we do get rid of these sporadic grass patches. I don't think we keep them in the end. I did want this landscaping to be very colourful. We are using the debug menu for this, which yeah, I sometimes I use the debug menu for landscaping because the shades of green, it's just darker. It looks nicer than the default green in the catalogue. I love these large cypress trees. I've also used them in the next doors build. That was, as I said, one of the base game builds that I did, and I've gone in with this modern type fence from, I think it's Perfect Patio. I don't usually use that pack a lot, but I love this fence. It gives that modern kind of contemporary look that we are after. And then I believe we might be going into the wallpaper for the exterior. I've gone in with a Desert Luxe pathing. I love this pathing. I think it's a really realistic pathing. The pavers are quite large, and I just find that it's really realistic for things like driveways and things like that. All right, so we're putting in the stairs, and I believe some fencing. We've gone in with the Love Struck fencing, which I don't really use quite that often. But again, I was going for more of a modern contemporary look. I didn't want to use anything that could have leaned a little bit more traditional. So yeah, the build is very much coming together. And this particular build, it has that striking kind of accent front to it. So it's got a plain kind of sliding, very minimal sliding, and then it has this kind of vertical textured wallpaper that's from Growing Together, and I don't usually use it. It's this kind of charcoal color, and it's very complementary to the kind of whitish gray sliding that we pair with it. I really like it. I think it gives such feature to the front of this build. We do change the door. Initially, I was going to use that one from Lovestruck, that rounded door. I liked the texture of it, but Eco Lifestyle is just so good for that kind of modern, sleek look. So yeah. All right, so we are just mapping out the backyard. We go in with a curved pool, and I believe just some basic outdoor seating and maybe a garden from memory. I've used the pool trim from Lovestruck. A lot of Lovestruck, which is kind of cool. I like that. I like that. So definitely inside. No, I think the master bedroom has quite a bit of Lovestruck. But as I mentioned, there's a lot of that refined living room kit. In here, we've used a lot of Desert Luxe kit. We're using all of that outdoor furniture here. I believe this kind of umbrella table is from Perfect Patio. I really like it. Again, it's more modern than the traditional one I would use. I'm using the grill from Modern Luxe, and I'm combining it with the cabinetry that's also in the kitchen. And I've put a pizza oven out there. That's awesome. I really like that because I do feel that that's quite realistic. And I have used these beautiful large potted plants. These are from Get to Work, and I really kind of fell in love with them back when we did our pack restrictive series back in, well, that video went live in February. And yeah, I just really love them. I think they're beautiful. All right, so we've kind of got a bird's eye view here because we're doing the flooring, and I've kind of mapped out the bedrooms. I think I've got the bedrooms correct, but I'll go back through them once we get to that stage. I think now we are just finalizing the internal wallpaper. I believe I went with a pinstripe wallpaper in the end. I really struggled with the wallpaper. I didn't know what kind of look I was going for. I know with the refined living room kit there was a new wallpaper, but I didn't want to use it for the entire house. I felt that it wasn't suitable. So I think parts of this build, it's white or it's got a simple paneling. Each of the bedrooms do have a very distinct color theme going on, which is something I usually do with the bedrooms that I just, design and whatnot. So you'll see that here, that kind of plum pinkish room in the front. That is the master bedroom. Is a lovely room. That's just really like just a lot of love struck in there, and you will see that shortly. All right, so this is that living room space, and this kind of backs on to that kitchen. And I love the layout of this. I love how it just opens up to the outside, and it just flows so nicely. You walk into this space, you've got that kitchen dining, and then you've got this other back part which is sectioned to that living room, and there's also like a little study nook as well. And this is the space where we utilize a lot of that kit that I mentioned. These paintings are from there. The collage of the 3 paintings, I think it's so genius. And I love all the swatches. I do think we changed the swatches to like a grey. And we've gone in with the grey wallpaper that comes, that kind of panelled wallpaper that comes with that kit. And yeah, I've just paired it with some of those sconces that come from Growing Together that I loved. This particular rug is actually from the Industrial Loft kit. I have not used that kit in a really long time, and I'm actually really excited to potentially go back and use it. I know with the businesses and hobbies expansion, there was that kind of industrial type aesthetic to some of the assets in the build and buy catalog. So potentially that might be something that I could do in the future. Is maybe do like an apartment that's industrial. All these ideas for next month's content. So this month's content is just still very much, I don't know, it's all over the place. As I said, I've got quite a backlog of builds. And yeah, so a lot of family homes actually. Yeah, are they all family homes? Yeah, all different sizes. So Thursday's build is actually a really lovely base game build. It's a base game only modern family home. So that's really exciting. And I think my favorite aspect of that particular build is the concept that it has a storyline behind it. And I've said this in the past where I think that might be a series that I also consider doing, is having builds that have kind of a storyline focus. You know, the Sims bedrooms have very much all their personality and maybe how it's decorated, or like I stick to a theme because if you're an avid Anna's watchers, you would know that I very much jump between styles. I may go for a modern build, but I'm still adding traditional assets and finishes into it. And I definitely want to get better at that and potentially just focus on one thing and just, excelling and delivering that concept. All right, so there's so much, there's so many textures going on in this particular build. You've got tiles, you've got wooden paneling, you've got, those bifold doors, you've got that metal kind of framing shelf. And I've just so much going on in this build, but I like it. It all kind of flows together. And I think my favorite space in this build has to be that living room. I think it's so cozy. And I think looking back at this build now, I could even have put a bifold door across there and actually not made that an open space and create a little bit more separation. And it would just look just as great. I love that I've added some pillows, and that mixture of that chocolate brown with that kind of army green. I love it. And yeah, it's kind of pulling some of the blue from the kitchen. And then the kitchen's got a bit of yellow, which is in the dining chairs. It's just all flows, and I really enjoy it. I like these little shelves that I've just cluttered up. And And this front space is beautiful. Obviously, all the curtains I've used are those modern luxe curtains that I've been loving recently. And yeah, they're just so easy to use, and I don't know, they're just very simplistic but elegant. I like that. All right, so this is the main hallway of like that kind of bedroom section of the build. So this is that right side. And I didn't know what to do because sometimes when you have too much hallway space, it's very hard to fill and make it look furnished. So I put in a desk and I've just put in some photo frames, and I decided to use a shelf. I don't usually use shelves. I used to use them a lot in my decorating, but I've decided to do that in this particular build. This one I think is from Modern Luxe. That kit again. And I like it. I think it's different and I like it. So I believe after that we will be moving into the master bedroom. Yes. Which again is that kind of it's berry tones. It's like that plummy purple. It's really, it is good. It is more feminine in this particular space. But I do add different types of textures in here. So again, a lot of metal and wooden tones in here, which I quite like. I love these flowers. So these flowers are actually from the Wedding Stories pack. I love them. I really like them, but I like to size them up, size them down, and do all sorts of things in here. Definitely wanted to have a cozy room, but more of a modern take of it. And I believe I use a vanity in this particular build, which again comes from Modern Luxe. As it must have been a kit where I got this. It must have been a time where this kit had just come out, because I've used it non-stop in this particular build as well. I like it. A little bit of Love Struck in here, a little seating area. We've just got some clutter, so some makeup, some jewelry. I believe do I use the game? Yeah, the kind of get to know you like woohoo game that came with Love Struck. I love this painting of just like the legs and the shoes. I don't know why I like it so much. I just kind of like it. All right, we're into our second bedroom. This is a teen's room, I believe. This is quite a nice little space. I love this bed. So this bed comes from the Pastel Pop kit, and the little heart bedside table comes from Love Struck. It's kind of like, I think it's an unlockable from the romance consult Korea. We've got a wardrobe frame. What else do we have? I love this little lamp. So this comes from the Storybook Nursery kit, and it's got a little llama. I think it's so cute. And then we have this kind of lamp plant object. I barely use this. I think this might be the second time I've ever used it. It's from the Blooming Rooms kit, and I think my issue with it is the size, but also the shades of the leaves. I've also mentioned this in the past where sometimes it looks like it's not a good shade of green. My favorite mirror, and I think we just put in a rug. It's kind of girly, but it still looks like, I don't know, I could envision a very creative sim in this space. So I've just kind of moved things around just to fit it in the space. And yeah, I do downsize that particular light plant object. And these portraits that came from, I think they're the Refined Living Room kit, were really good. Okay, so this might be my favorite bedroom in this particular house. There is something so calming and simplistic about this bedroom. I think I've made this for like a male sim, but it's very gender neutral. It's very modern. I've used a lot of the Dream Home Decorator kit, game pack in this particular room. And I've just compared it with definitely items that, give that kind of Scandinavian IKEA type vibe. We've got a desk, we've got some clutter. Just basically used a lot of that pack. And of course, my favorite rug of the game at the moment, which is from the Refined Living Room kit. I just love it so much. The texture on it, the colors, the swatches, the patterns. It's really cool. So I really enjoy that bedroom. So we've gotten a male teen, a female teen, and I believe a child's room. So there is no infant's room, but that's okay. We've got a child's room. From memory, this is quite a fun room. I think, do we keep the yellow? Try to remember whether we keep the yellow or not. I wanted to pull inspiration from this bedspread, and it was very quirky and cutesy and colorful, and that was definitely the vibe of this particular room. So we've combined high school years with the pastel pop kit and a little bit of growing together. So we've got in a desk, and I think, yep. Do we put in I love these toolboxes, these toy boxes. So these worn toy boxes from Growing Together are really cool. I love them for storytelling, especially in this particular build where there's older siblings, like one could say, things were passed down. That kind of boho chair kind of matches the bed. You've got a diary. I think they're quite nice to have. And a fun rug that comes from the pastel pop kit again. And yeah, so we do change the wallpaper. Okay. All right. This is the main bathroom of the house. We do have another one which is across the hall. I do notice that they are fairly close together, but that's okay. I think it was just how this particular build was laid out. If you were to download this build, it is on the Sims 4 gallery. My gallery ID, Antoinette.44, is in the description below if need. You could easily turn this into a 5th bedroom, or you could turn it into something else. Maybe a skill room or a gym or whatever you would like to, maybe a reading room or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's very basic in here. I've used a lot of that modern furniture. I've used those base game update counters. I think they're beautiful. They just make really good bathroom counters. All right, we are jumping outside. I believe we're doing the final touches on the build, which is just decorating this outside section and I believe the front, and then we'll be going for the tour. So this kind of couch is from Get Together. I like it. It's one of the better outdoor couches that we have in the game. We definitely need some more. Okay, put in a debug car and your mailbox and bin, and then we are also just extending this out because I thought, why not put a basketball hoop, just because we had the space. Alrighty, we are live in game and we're going through the tour. So you enter through the entry and you head to your left, into that main living room. So you've got that kitchen, dining, and then you head through to that beautiful living room, which is, again, my favorite space in the house, to that private little study nook. Back down the hall to the right-hand side, you have that main bathroom. You have the master bedroom. That's quite pink and fun. You have that teens room. Oh, sorry, that's the second bathroom there. Very similar to the first. Teens bedroom. And then you go into what is my favorite bedroom of the house, I believe. Oh, no, sorry, this is the child's room. Really lovely and colourful in there. And then my final room of the home, which is really lovely. That bedroom there, very simplistic. And then you go outside, you've got a chess table, a sitting area. You've got some swings, gardening, entertainment area, pool, and just some seating. And that is the build today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.